the world's going to be changing a lot, and I feel like a lot of people aren't really aware on where the world is actually going when we talk about going online. And I want to kind of find a way to talk about it in small bits that can help you as the entrepreneur who wants to, start your own business, or as a customer or consumer who's used to using, the store around the corner to get business and might have to start using things online. So these things is not very easy because they're always jumping around. But instead of us getting frustrated about it, let's organize these stores so that way we can think about what's the best choice for us in this particular climate. So my name is Chris, and I'm just basically very interested in working with online businesses, having my own business, but that information is not all there. I think that I worked just like everybody else. Like go to work, 40 hours a work week and go work, get a paycheck every 2 weeks. But I've always had like this idea that I wanted to kind of like have something online, and it wasn't really about building a business that is going to be like, it's going to have like millions of sales and stuff like that, but more like something that focuses more on what I think about, what I like, and then I can find a way to talk more about it online. Some people do stuff like they can maybe be like they like making music, and they make music on their free time, but they don't know who would listen to it. So they can start doing things like making music online, 3 or 4 different types of music. They can talk about the music, like what's the music they're looking to to impersonate, or they're looking to who's would actually like that, and then you put that music around that same type, and if people start liking it, then you can make more music like that. So that all that information that you get is called analytics, and that analytics is actually made up from several different parameters. Online websites have analytics inside their website. You might have people on social media platforms that use analytics as well. You can have custom specific analytics that apps will basically get. For instance, like how many times people log into the app to use whatever, at what time, what is the age, what do they actually do, how far do they go in that app, when do they leave the app, in your iPhone, this analytics. So all these different numbers, all this data is available to you based on where you were using your phone or your business. So you can actually use this as your starting point. You enter into your business with whatever it is, and you just start out by small experiments. I go on Facebook right now. I have Facebook. I have a Facebook page called the Yamanote Tech and Society Podcast. I run campaigns once a month. I have 2 or 3 different stories that I put out on my page, and then I have a podcast each week that I kind of talk about these informations in an organized fashion, and then I try to repeat this on a weekly basis. When it comes down to different topics, and then I also try to find people who are knowledgeable about it and people who aren't so knowledgeable, and try to have conversations with them to build like a community of people that would like to listen to these type of things, that's interested in getting these things, that doesn't know what's going on. And my idea is really to try to remove the fog of war, the fog of confusion. So that way it could be, if you are interested in just, doing podcasting, you can see podcasting is like for me. If you're interested in making an online business on Facebook, you can talk about that as well. And then the information can just grow from there. So it doesn't have to actually be clear. It doesn't have to actually be, you don't have to worry about having everything in one spot, because I don't think it's gonna happen. And before I actually, end this little video here, I want to basically talk about this course. It's on Coursera. It's called Developing an Entrepreneurial Mindset. I think I spoke about it before in another podcast. I might even bring it up on tonight's podcast. And basically, they talk about the new business paradigm. And they talk about what a startup is. If you're not familiar with a startup used to be like this thing where a business would come in and they would have this amount of money set up, and then they would have these goals to going into each section to get more money. Basically, you would have like, they call it seed money. You have A, seed level B, C, and you would have to get certain requirements, certain goals done before a certain particular time in order to get another round of funding. But a startup in this mindset is actually where a startup is a temporary organization used to search for a repeatable and scalable business model for a business motivated first and foremost by a passion to make meaning and achieve some higher purpose. And people are going to be able to do this very well online because you don't have an actual physical store. You could just have a presence online. It could start with a website, a domain. It could start with just an LLC that you have. You could start with a Facebook page, a YouTube account. It could start with a YouTube channel. You can just go ahead and just start out where you go on Twitter, for example, and you just start following everybody who is the authority figure of that particular thing you're interested in. And then every, so often you can start talking about those things. I'm going to actually have a link to a process I would like to use to getting things done. I like to break things down into small chunks. So that way it's easy for me to understand, because I feel like in order for me to understand something, I have to start like a business in order to really get, the most out of the things I'm looking to get done. And hopefully it becomes valuable to somebody somewhere. And you can do that with all this information. So thanks a lot. And I hope that these values come to you. Take care.